All right, and we are live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we got a lot to talk about in our live stream. We're talking about a major cryptocurrency exchange that is abandoning Ethereum, what that means. Should you worry about this if you're, into the Ethereum ecosystem or just like watching the blockchain space? The space is constantly changing all the time. So what can we draw from this information? We're going to look at that. We're going to look at a lot of the news updates that have happened in the space since our live stream yesterday. Again, we do these live streams on this channel Monday through Friday. Just subscribe, turn on notifications. You're going to find out about this whenever we go live. I usually also post a link on my Twitter, okay? So you can definitely go follow me on Twitter and, turn on alerts there if you're not able to get the YouTube notifications. Sometimes people complain they don't get the live notifications whenever we pop up on YouTube. But anyways, if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. On this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely, like I said before, smash that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And if you want to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, then definitely head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. We've got the Blockchain Bootcamp version 2.0 launch coming up in just a few short weeks on Thursday, July 14th. In case you have missed that announcement, if you've been watching this channel, so make sure you head on over to the link down below to hold your spot today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. We've got a major cryptocurrency exchange leaving Ethereum. Okay, so I saw this article floating around, saw people talking about this. Some people have asked me about it, and so I want to bring it up on our live stream and kind of go through it. So a major crypto exchange abandons Ethereum. Is the world computer falling behind? That's quite the sensational headline there. So let's jump into this and talk about it. So last week, crypto derivatives exchange DYDX announced that it will be leaving the Ethereum ecosystem and launching its own blockchain with the Cosmos ecosystem. So according to DYDX's founder, a new chain will allow the platform to provide the best possible experience for its users, enabling the platform to more easily customize things like fee structures and transaction speeds. So the new chain will replace DYDX's current platform built on top of Starkware, an Ethereum scaling solution platform that uses ZK rollup technology to allow for quick, cheap transactions. So even as layer 2 networks like Starkware expand Ethereum's capabilities at a rapid pace, updates to the core Ethereum protocol are lagging, and competition for other smart contract ecosystems is growing fiercer by the day. So DYDX's decision to leave Ethereum has been viewed by some as evidence that the original smart contract network is simply not moving fast enough to accommodate the demands of the maturing ecosystem. So DYDX's path, which saw the platform outgrow Ethereum layer 1 blockchain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's kind of break this down because, there's this article kind of hits on a lot of pressure points that I think, trigger, fear, concern, or curiosity in other people. Because, some of the biggest complaints about the Ethereum ecosystem is it's too slow, it's too expensive, okay? And that, sure, there are solutions to these problems, but they're like taking forever, right? They're too far away. So, and then, we've seen other people like, especially in the last, bull run, kind of explode in this multi-chain ecosystem where people are like forking their projects or migrating their projects, expanding their projects to new EVM-compatible chains. And some projects, moving off the Ethereum blockchain entirely. And so here you have an example of DYDX doing that. And so the question is, are other people going to follow suit? Okay, are other OG projects that are built on top of Ethereum going to follow suit? So one thing you have to understand is what's very unique and specific about DYDX is what the project is itself, and like why they're making this particular move. Okay, so if you're not familiar with DYDX, it's a decentralized finance application. It's a trading solution that runs, basically all on chain. Okay, so basically it's it's a DEX that you can see like this. Okay, where you have an order book. Okay, you can deposit cryptocurrency. You can have it doesn't work like Uniswap. So Uniswap is an exchange that runs with an automated market maker on the back end, where you just like tell it what cryptocurrency you have, and you click swap, and it just like spits out a new cryptocurrency. It's just like a market order, right? Where this is more sophisticated, you actually have like limit orders, like you would see on a more technical, kind of like pro exchange, right? So where you can basically say what price you want to buy at and what price you want to sell at and how much. Okay, you can actually make limit orders, and so there's some really specific things that DYDX needs to do that's different from other decentralized finance applications like, Uniswap, for example. So that's the first thing to understand. So basically, this order book right here, is something that they've, from my understanding, wanted to put all on chain and do completely on chain. So right now, whenever you're creating orders in this order book, like that's a massive amount of data. Okay, that's talking about your intent to trade, not necessarily the actual trade itself. We've seen other, trading solutions like 0x, implement their order book in different ways. Okay, but basically, my understanding is, DYDX wants to put all this stuff on chain, and that's where the big bottleneck is for, their current implementation. Now, the other thing to understand is that, DYDX has been using a layer 2 scaling solution, which we talked about in the article here, that is a unique strategy from what lots of other people were doing, okay? So you have to understand that basically, they had built their own proprietary solution, like the article was talking about here, but it didn't really highlight that enough. Okay, so basically, try to find the point where it said that even as layer 2 networks like Starkware expanding Ethereum's capabilities at a rapid pace. Okay, so this is kind of some editorial slant. So basically, pull some on my screen here. They had already built their own, essentially Starkware-based ZK rollup solution that was specific for their app chain. And so if you're not familiar with what Layer 2s are, I've talked about them a lot in these live streams, and I'll recap it. So Layer 2 scaling solution is essentially an Ethereum-based scaling solution where you build the second environment on top of the blockchain, and then you are able to do transactions on there, and it derives, the security from Ethereum itself. You pay the fees in Ethereum. And so, the ones that I'm excited about are these general purpose layer 2 scaling solutions like Arbitrum and Optimism and ZK Sync, where basically any developer can create any smart contract they want to and put it on that layer 2 scaling solution. It works like its own unique blockchain that way. Those are general purpose. Or you can see the purpose here in the category universal. That's what they saw here. So there are other types of layer 2 scaling solutions that are like just app specific, where essentially it's like this siloed environment where the only thing that you do on that layer 2 scaling solution is run this specific application, okay? And that's basically what DYDX had, okay, of this Starkware-based exchange. So, the fact that they are now saying, okay, we're moving our own proprietary, unique, app-specific scaling solution onto a different environment, it's not really that different. Like, it's not that it's not that Ethereum specific in the first place, where it's not like they have this application that's running on some other general purpose layer 2 that's able to actually hook into the big network effect of other applications. It was already on this like siloed sort of app specific strategy, and that's what them and a few others have decided to do. So nothing really unique about that being taking advantage of Ethereum's network effect or anything like that. So honestly, I don't see this move as a big concerning thing for other applications either. Okay, and I'll give you a couple counterpoints to sort of back that up. So we're starting to see other layer 2's environments start to actually gain adoption, especially right now with Arbitrum Odyssey that's going on right now. I talked about that yesterday in the live stream. Sort of this set of challenges where people can go, explore the Arbitrum ecosystem, earn NFTs, and probably get eligible for an airdrop. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. We're seeing a massive spike in Arbitrum transactions that sent it to what I believe is a new all-time high in daily transactions here. Let's see, 28.7. Yeah, new daily transaction all-time high and trending higher. Of course, this will probably cool off after the Arbitrum Odyssey goes away, but I imagine we'll probably see some mean reversion here, but the still trend, right, for this line is still going up. Okay, so that's what I would say. I wanted to address this because I see articles like this making front page headlines in major crypto news outlets. And we are seeing people like this, move their platform to something else unique. But, this very editorial headline, is the world computer falling behind? I don't think there's anything to worry about there. So that being said, what's a big update on the Ethereum roadmap? I've got a video later today coming out about this, but we do have the final update. See, Would we have the final update for the difficulty bomb getting delayed up today? Let's see here. Trying to find the yes, the Great Glacier update happening for the Ethereum ecosystem today. So I've got a video later today coming out about this. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. But basically, we got the difficulty bomb for Ethereum 2.0, getting pushed back. Okay, that's supposed to go live today, which pushes the difficulty bomb back to, let's see here, October. It's 100 days from basically today. Which I believe is it's like mid-October. I did the calculation the other day when I made the video. But yeah, about 100 days from today. So the EVM was created by Ethereum. I don't see any real competitor for it. So part of what you have to understand also with the DYDX migration is, when you have an app-specific layer 2 scaling solution like that, you're not really taking the big advantage of the network effect that Ethereum has to offer, where basically you can, move in and move out of that, or actually use other dependencies inside the Ethereum ecosystem to build your own application. It's kind of just its own siloed thing, okay, where it's not really you're taking full advantage of the Ethereum network effect, which is the biggest advantage that Ethereum has going for it. Okay, so that's another reason why I don't see this as like a any kind of like major concern. I mostly wanted to bring it up because, like I was saying before, we see these sort of like very sensationalized headlines, on major crypto news outlets like this, and the real this is true. This is not true. There's an ETH has helped me finally learn coding plus their help. Awesome. So the ETH is taking too long. Yeah, I could see that. Trust me. I mean, I guarantee I've been waiting for Ethereum 2.0 to arrive longer than probably almost everybody watching the stream. I mean, maybe some people have been here for a while, but probably most people have not. So anyways, trust me, I get it. I'm ready for ETH 2.0 to get here too. I'm ready for proof of stake to roll out. I'm ready for the merge to happen. But again, this is a really challenging problem. Okay, it doesn't happen overnight. I have a lot of respect for the people who are creating this technology. If you're a developer already, you understand how insanely hard it is to create highly complex software. It's notoriously hard to estimate. So imagine, multiplying that by 1,000 to create something as sophisticated as the world computer. Because whenever you're doing a Ethereum 2.0 merge, you actually have to take two different blockchains, the Ethereum 2.0 chain, the beacon chain, and the main Ethereum chain, and merge them together. And both of them have billions of dollars sitting on them. So you don't want to mess that up. And you also don't want to compromise the integrity of the Ethereum asset itself and dump the price by making something mess up. Okay. So I have lots of respect. How does the EVM interact with Web 2? So the EVM really is part of the Web 3 solution. So what is the EVM? It's the Ethereum virtual machine. Okay, so basically it's the software that runs an Ethereum node. And when you have a lot of Ethereum nodes, working together, that's what creates a decentralized world computer. That's really what the Ethereum virtual machine is you take an Ethereum client. Ethereum client is the software that you run to run a node, and the nodes collectively together, make up the Ethereum virtual machine. So what is a virtual machine if you're not familiar? So a virtual machine is really just an environment that mimics another environment, okay? So on a computer, like a virtual machine, like a regular computer, and that's kind of not a really sophisticated technical term, but it's a layman's term, a regular computer. Okay. So you might have heard of virtual machine, like let's say that you have a Windows computer and you need to run a Mac program. Okay. So we used to do this a lot back in the day where people still do it now, but we used to do a lot more when you kind of had to work these things around. You can install an app on your computer that was a virtual machine app that basically let you run a operating system in an app. Okay, so you could boot up Windows, you could install a virtual machine application, and then inside that virtual machine, that app acted like a computer, and you can install Mac OS like inside this virtual machine. You just had to get like a cracked copy because the Mac OS licensing issues. Okay, so vice versa, like say you had a Mac, it was a lot easier to install Windows inside a virtual machine. Let's say you want to play a game. This is the most common use case. It was like, I got a Mac, but it doesn't have enough games on it, so I'm going to install a virtual machine app inside my Mac, which is going to give me like this little app where I can install Windows inside that app, and I can run it like a little computer inside my computer. That's what a virtual machine is, okay? There's lots of different use cases for virtual machines, but those are the ones that people are probably most familiar with. And anyways, so like, a virtual machine is really just about a single computer in that case, where it's like you have a computer and you got a computer running inside a computer. But part of what's the Ethereum virtual machine is the idea of having this like hive mind of computers that talk to one another to actually run the blockchain itself. Okay. So when you get on Etherscan, and you see like, all these different transactions, like you're watching Ethereum right now. Like this is Ethereum running. Okay, but Ethereum doesn't run on a single computer. It runs on lots of different computers that are all doing this at the same time. It's redundant. That's the whole point of the blockchain. It's a peer-to-peer network of nodes that all talk to one another. And so each of those computers, it has software on it, client software, that tells you how to implement Ethereum. That's the Ethereum spec. Okay, and it can be written in lots of different, ways, as long as it follows that spec and does these really specific instructions at the machine level in a certain way. Okay, that's what it means to implement the Ethereum spec. And then all these computers do the same thing, and they corporately make this Ethereum virtual machine, which is really just, this like thing that makes a blockchain. And so that's how the EVM works. And so this person was asking me, how does it interface with Web 2? Well, that's really the entire Web 3 layer right there. Like the whole idea of Web 3 is an internet of value, a way that you can store value on the internet, because you can't really store value in Web 2. Right, you can represent value. You can get on a banking website and say like, hey, yeah, this person has $100 in their bank account, but that value is not really stored there. It's just represented there. But on a blockchain, you can actually store value, because you can like the blockchain itself is immutable, and somebody else runs it, and nobody can get in the database and just like one-click update, your balance. Because that's centralized, and it's, not a very good store of value. But you can store value on a blockchain because you can just have the accounting record there and nobody can tamper with it. Somebody says, isn't it true that decentralization is a myth and the tech is now converging towards centralized services like Infura and MetaMask and OpenSea? What is your opinion? I mean, decentralization has always been a sliding scale, okay? You want to try to maintain as much decentralization as possible at the very lowest level, and that to me is like where you're running at, the actual blockchain infrastructure, the blockchain nodes themselves. So I think trying to make something like Ethereum, the base layer, as decentralized as possible is, what you want to do. Now, that doesn't really matter so much for like OpenSea. I mean, applications can be highly centralized. People need to understand that. But what they're saying here with like MetaMask, okay, let's just back it up. So MetaMask, so what are the centralization risks with MetaMask? So you have basically the app itself, okay, and then you have how the app talks to the blockchain. So that's two parts. So the developers of the application, of course, could change something about the application. And of course, MetaMask is probably the most, it is the most widely used Ethereum wallet. So there's some centralization risk there. I mean, their answers to this, basically just having an alternative wallet provider that's open source, is a pretty good answer to that. But, MetaMask actually like talking to the blockchain, it uses Infura nodes like this person is talking about. At least the last time I checked is using Infura. They may have updated how they do it, but for a long time they used Infura nodes by default. I imagine they still do because the MetaMask and Infura are under the same umbrella. Okay. So anyways, so you see stuff like Infura go down, right? Infura is basically a blockchain infrastructure company. They run Ethereum nodes, and you can get access to an Ethereum node for free because it's really hard to run your own Ethereum node. And you basically get a link to it. And so MetaMask uses those links by default, okay? But you can basically, so like sometimes Infura, will either like sense, like sometimes Infura will refuse service, to certain countries because they're basically like, or like certain jurisdictions because there's legal issues there, okay? And people say, hey, it's a centralization risk. Well, there's solutions to that. Like you can use different node providers that don't do that, and then you just change that RPC URL inside your MetaMask, okay? Or you can run your own node. It's really hard to do, but you can do it. You don't have to run a full node in order to do that. But otherwise, like, people using Infura for certain applications, I don't think it matters that much. I think there's enough people not using that are running their own infrastructure that the blockchain itself is decentralized enough. Somebody says, to be fair, Cosmos is fantastic, is much faster. I don't have any hate on Cosmos. How are images processed in Web3? Well, most of the time when you're talking about images in Web3, you're definitely not putting them on a blockchain, okay? You want to put your images somewhere else. Most common places to store them on a distributed file storage system like IPFS, and then you take an IPFS hash back and you store that hash, inside of a smart contract on Web3. I'm just going to share my opinion on Web 5. Definitely go check out the video I put out on my YouTube about Web 5. I'll show you my screen here. Let me just pull it up here. So, let me see here. Yeah, if you go to my YouTube, and you go to the recent uploads, you can look at this Web 5 video. I share my thoughts on Web 5. But really quickly, I'll just give a recap. Definitely go check that video if you haven't already. But essentially, what's the person asked me what's Web 5 or what I think about Web 5. What is it? Okay, so Web 5 is basically just taking Web 3.0 and building on top of Bitcoin. Okay, this was put forth by Jack Dorsey, as former CEO of Twitter, also the CEO of Square, right, which is now Block, which has this other division underneath it, which is creating Web 5. Of course, it's based off of Web 3.0, Web 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and we skipped over Web 4 to Web 5. So I got lots of respect for what Jack has accomplished in his career. Some pretty impressive stuff. So all due respect before I start talking about potential criticisms here. But Jack has never really liked Web 3.0. He's never had lots of good things. He's never had really anything, from what I've seen, good to say about chains like Ethereum. Okay, but he's arguably a Bitcoin maximalist, thinks Bitcoin's like the superior currency and ecosystem. So basically, the whole idea here is taking Web 3.0 and building on Bitcoin. So building on top of Bitcoin's Lightning Network, which is basically like a layer 2 for Bitcoin. So what are my initial thoughts on it? My initial thoughts are it feels like it's got an axe to grind, okay, that it's kind of got an agenda behind it. To try to just create something on Bitcoin and kind of forcing this. And Lightning network adoption is still kind of low. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's got cool potential, but you've got to overcome a massive network effect and get other people to actually use it, which that's the real challenge. It's not just about building the technology. It's about getting people to come on and actually build on it. And those incentives are hard to come by whenever you're starting from scratch, as lots of the other competitor smart contract platforms saw in 2021. Sold his first tweet for over 2 million though. Yep. It's impressive. Smith says, okay, store images off-chain on IPFS, get hashback stored in smart contract. I want to talk between Web 2 images on Google and Web 3 user written data, how to read Web 2 images. So if you want to get them inside of, if you're talking about creating a decentralized like website and you're putting the website on IPFS, you can still, everything still talks, you can still use HTTP requests. Okay, it's still the web. So you can make HTTP requests to get those images. Now, if you're doing it inside of a smart contract and you're trying to read information from a URL, you don't really want to be using image data inside of a smart contract in the first place. You could get the URL to a Web 2 image if you wanted to and put that in a smart contract. Can you make ETH by running ETH VM? So you can run the Ethereum chain, a new chain, but it won't matter because you've got to get other people actually agreeing to use it. So is bottom getting close? MicroStrategy's got another 480 Bitcoin. Is that true? Let's look. Yeah, that looks like it's true. So MicroStrategy scoops up 480 Bitcoin amid market slump. Crazy. I don't know how much of a sign that is. They were buying Bitcoin at like $50,000 plus 60,000. I don't know. I can't remember what their exact buys were, but they were buying a lot more, pretty close to the top. So if ETH goes down, does the EVM? They're basically the same thing. How blind is Web3 consensus? I want to read an image and confirm that with a real-time Web3 image. That's going to be probably, it depends on what technology you're using, but that's going to be a pretty expensive computation. I would recommend maybe trying to manipulate the image data to where it's a much more bite-sized footprint where you can compare those two footprints. I'm trying to think of the best way to do that off the top of my head. But then again, you'd have trust assumptions involved in that particular, solution itself. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. As always, smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. And, if you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started? You can definitely go to my YouTube homepage. All right, you can find those free courses there. They're like free Udemy course, but totally free. You that free blockchain development courses playlist. Browse through that. If you like those, you went to the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step by step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. And of course, we are having the blockchain bootcamp version 2.0 launch coming up on Thursday, July 14th. So make sure you head on over to the link down below to hold your spot today. And if you've already signed up on that page before, you need to re-enter your email to get a bunch of special announcements about the big bootcamp version 2.0 launch. All right, so super excited about this. That's all I got for today. And until next time, thanks for watching.